All right, there we go. This lighting is pretty rough right now. But I've been fighting my internet here today, so if I drop frames, I apologize for that. Yeah, there's a lot of videos here I can take a look at in regards to these protests, riots. Liberals are going to call them protests. Republicans are going to call them riots. We understand. We understand. But yeah, I mean, this is really bad. I mean, Trump just wants to deport people that are here illegally. They're getting angry about it. So we're going to shut down any little outrage they have by sending in the National Guard. What do you want? And then liberals will try and protect these protesters like it's happening in California with how liberal it is. And Trump says, fuck that. I'll just immediately send in the National Guard. What's going on? Mostly peaceful? Well, that's always a thing with them you're going to have to deal with. I'll watch some of these videos. We'll see how bad it's getting in terms of how aggressive these people are. You know, they're empowered. A lot of them are empowered by the mainstream to do this. So they think what they're doing is right. They think all Republicans are racist. We know the song and dance. CNN saying it's mostly peaceful. I mean, that's like a meme at this point. If they actually... See, this is the fucking thing with this goddamn sun. Can the sun please go away? I'm trying to not have to be streaming in darkness. I'm going to have to stream in darkness. I can't do this. That's a bit too bright. Dude, it's so annoying. It's unfortunate. But then it's just gonna superheat my room too if I leave it open. I mean, it's like mostly cloudy, and then right when I start streaming, the sun comes out. All right, let's see what these videos are. Let's see how bad this is. Because this, you got to see this to see how bad it is. Look at this fat loser, Otani. Dude's in an Otani jersey short. If you wear a jersey shirt, you're as a grown man. And then they all have masks on. Do you see Trump said no masks? They're not allowed to wear masks because we can't identify you. We're trying to arrest you. You guys can wear masks. They really should just dump like 10 million illegals onto LA County and just let them live. Like, do we really think it's so ridiculous? Like when people say you're American and stuff, what does it even mean anymore? Like all these people in LA, just with how crazy diverse it is. What even is this? This is just like a globalist wet dream cesspool. And all of these people, they're all minorities from different countries. This is just such a clusterfuck of shit. Like, seriously. Just watching this, it's insane. Newsom says Trump should rescind. But it's like, this stuff is so stupid. Like, why is Newsom so angry? The protesters were hurtling rocks at windshields. What do you think's going to happen? I mean, it's like... Trump brings the Marines to LA, lethal force. Yeah, well, that's what Hegseth said. He insinuated it might happen. I appreciate that, Matt. He said, well, maybe it'll happen. We'll see. Is this the new GTA 6 trailer? Remember the GTA 6 bullshit? I thought that game was going to come out, and they delay it again for like the 8th time. Look at all of them in their little COVID masks. Umbrellas. They come to protests with umbrellas to try and shield the pepper spray. Yeah, they should just arrest people that start throwing shit at the law enforcement. Dude, look at all the graffiti. Like, how do these people live? There's no. See, this is the problem with these diverse communities. You see all the graffiti there. There's shit everywhere. There's fucking just garbage in the street. There's just no actual care for the society at all. And when you have a situation with all these people, they don't give a shit. You know, they don't give a shit about the country. They don't give a shit about the city. Good on Trump for laying it down, deport all of them. Yeah, I mean, you may need more, get these people out. But there's going to have to be some type of, like, we're not doing this. We're not going to keep doing this where you guys cry that we had a raid to where we got 200 people in a fucking Home Depot and we're going to have to deal with all this shit from you people. Fuck that. Trump was elected to do this. Japan uses colored water cannons. I was seeing videos of that. Yeah, just take really high pressure water, just blast them because, I mean, we're here to do our job. The ICE is there to deport people that are illegal. But again, it's like even at like LA County or any of these areas, they're just unrecognizable. Like, who are these people fighting it? They're all from different countries themselves. They're all from different countries. This is what globalism gets you, and then they're all American, right? Okay. Are you gonna make a video on the House settlement revenue sharing for college football? I was thinking about it. I don't think so, man. What a mess that is. I mean, you knew it was gonna happen, but that's just, to be honest, I don't even know if it'll change a lot because they were already. It was the structure was already set up to where the kids were getting significant money, just a different way. They were getting it through backdoor deals on sponsorships. Did you see Maxine Waters down there trying to get into the building? Yeah, that's probably going to be on here, I'm guessing. I'm just going to go through all of these and see. What is this? He's in stilts and he gets knocked down. Look at this. Dude's got an Argentina flag. No, I don't know what that is. It's probably some trans rights flag. They just start dragging him. Oh, man.
Crowd that may have tossed a canister over the front line. Is it difficult to do?
Sometimes it is and sometimes it isn't. And you'll see multiple rows of officers, right? And that first row of officers, they're taking the brunt of whatever's being thrown to them. The second row, I mean, those are your spots.
Protesters are starting to block the freeways. Protesters blocked the 101 freeway in LA. Yeah, well, I can imagine there's a massive cohort of them. They're blocking multiple streets. Tonight may get bad. Well, they're 3 hours behind me, so it's only 4 o'clock in the afternoon there in LA. Yeah, I mean, I wonder what happens, because normally when it becomes, that's when they start burning the cars at night. I wonder if it will get bad. I mean, this looks like Mexico. What is happening in LA does not look like America. Yeah, I mean, well, just look at the demographics of LA. Like, all of these people are from different countries anyways. Like, what are we even fighting here? Did you see Theo Vaughn bring up Palantir to JD Vance? He completely deflected and tried to downplay how bad they are. He owns his whole career to. Yeah, I mean, I've heard that about Peter Thiel. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I don't know. I've been I heard Palantir is they're a they're a guppy. The thing is with Palantir is they're based around data organization, and so they optimize large swaths of data. And listen, what they're doing, I mean, that stuff is going to happen, but I think it's bad. But I mean, people are just going to draw the connection to Israel with that. Trump needs more than 2,000. Oh yeah, did you hear about this? Trump administration diverted 20K anti-drone missiles it promised to Ukraine, sent them to US troops. So there were anti-drone missiles that were supposedly going to go to Ukraine that ended up being sent to the United States. I don't know. It's all these people in masks. They're all hiding their faces because they know they're committing crimes. And again, everyone's pointed this out on Twitter, but it's the whole idea of the Mexican flag and the nationalist view of we love Mexico. Why are you protesting, sir? You're protesting because you don't want to go back to Mexico. So why the Mexican flag? Like, I could understand the whole idea. It's our heritage, but it doesn't make sense in this context. You're portraying the opposite of what your movement is. Your movement is we're protesting because they're sending people to Mexico. But then you're waving a Mexican flag with the connotation of we hate America, fuck America, I love Mexico. Okay, you love Mexico, go to Mexico then. That we're sending you to Mexico, you want to go to Mexico. What if the ICE agent came up to him and said, you like the Mexican flag? You're going to be seeing a lot of them. Funny how they're waving Mexican flags but don't want to go back. I know. That's just what I said, Scotty, man. That's just what I said, but... Can you do a live stream tomorrow? I don't know. Is there anything big that's happening tomorrow? I mean, the live streams are... I like doing a live stream here and there, but it's like... For me, I could also... Instead of doing a live stream, I could do a 9/11 video. I could do other things. So it's like... It's a time management thing. As a base news, ignore what's going on in LA. Well, Trump, I mean, I think this is going to happen in other places too. Trump and the administration, they're starting to be more aggressive with deportation. So there was a major raid at a Home Depot, I think is how it started, an ICE raid, and it's spiraled now into a larger situation. You had people assaulting ICE as they were trying to deport people and detain illegals, and then it's spiraled now to where it's become a riot. And they started burning cars yesterday. They started throwing things at the ICE SUVs and things like that. So it's kind of spiraled a bit. And then Trump brings in the National Guard to try and de-escalate things. And now it's kind of turned into this thing with Newsom to where he's angry. He said it was under control. I think Trump wants a show of force for sure, especially when it comes to the fact that they're finally starting to really ramp up these deportations. Remember, they originally... over the first 4 months, I mean, we're getting numbers to where the self-deportations are just amazing. I mean, they're saying there's around 700K. But in terms of the actual physical deportations, they've been lower. So now they're starting to ramp up. They got the big, beautiful bill. Once that gets through, that's going to be more money for them to deport. But it's like, this is just the start, and now it's the summer months. So you're going to deal with this. This is great, though. It's an off year. So you deal with it in an off-year election. You get people understanding this is what's going to happen. There's going to be deportations. They're telling people you can't wear masks. You're committing all these crimes, and they can't identify any of these people because they go out, they wear these fucking COVID masks. Now they wear N95s. I mean, half like that dude has an N95. All of these people. Look at this scrawny dumb bitch with a COVID mask and sunglasses. I mean, I guess it makes sense to wear. It does make sense to wear sunglasses. I'll give them that, but. Utah getting an MLB team? If so, who will it be? It would probably be an expansion team. I mean, if they were to get a team, it would probably be the Diamondbacks, like in relocation. But the Diamondbacks, I think, will get a new stadium. The Diamondbacks are not going to go anywhere, but they would have to get an expansion team. I think Utah. Did you hear about Stefan Diggs' boat party? Yeah, I did. Any Musk news? Yeah, there was some Musk news yesterday. I did a video on it. It seems like Musk is going to have to apologize publicly to Trump. That's what it feels like. Because he just completely went off the deep end, and Trump had said that he's on some serious drugs and he feels bad for him. That's basically it. And now it's been reported. I mean, this is the thing. If you see that story, that's the Washington Post picked it up. I was surprised they actually did, but it had been said by Steve Bannon like a week ago that Musk and Bessent got into an altercation over some, like, the head of the IRS, whoever they were arguing, and Bessent gave Musk a black eye. And then Musk said, well, no, my kid hit me in the face. I told him to punch me in the face, and he did. And apparently Musk hip checked or just gave a hard shoulder to Bessent, and then Bessent punched him or something. I don't know. But I mean, with Musk, it seemed like it was downhill for a while. Seemed like it was, Musk was trying to invite him to these high-profile meetings, they were saying, and Trump's like, what are you doing here? Like, you're not authorized into these type of meetings. Musk is not used to being told no with how rich he is. They blocked the freeway. Well, yeah, let me see if I get an update on this. Maybe they'll have an update. Karen Bass, our law enforcement officers can handle this.
Withdrawn. I don't think that is the way to bring peace in Los Angeles. I think that our law enforcement officers can handle this situation, but I just have to repeat again, it's a feeling here of intentional chaos. Withdrawn. I don't.
Peaceful. It's peaceful. Yeah, there they are. There they are on the freeway. Nashville has a AAA ballpark. The Rays can move there, play a few seasons while a new one is built. Yeah, I know, but that's still not ideal for MLB because a AAA ballpark, what is the capacity of that? It's not satisfactory, but I know what you're saying. I mean, that would be semi-convenient. Did you see Trump tripped today? Yeah, I saw it. And then Rubio did as well to try and cover for him. I thought that was nice. Yeah, Trump had a little stumble. I mean, whatever. Libs are going to say what they're going to say. They're going to say, well, whoa, this is Biden. Biden fell like 5 times. Biden fell 3 times going up the stairs. Joe Rogan shook Trump's hand last night. I mean, yeah, well, Trump goes to those UFC events, and it's the same thing. It's like the 5th time he's seen Rogan at those. Musk was using Trump to try and get the EV mandate. I don't know if that was it. I think there was a few different things. It was the head of NASA. Musk wanted someone to where he could work with him because Musk has SpaceX, and it's very important. And, the person that he was trying to nominate for it had donated to liberal campaigns, and Trump said it's not going to happen. This is all articles I've read. I mean, there's a number of things that happened, but in terms of like the EV mandates, it wouldn't surprise me if that was involved in it, because anything that significantly affects Musk's bottom line, like the H-1Bs, it seems like, that's where he draws a line. But I mean, with Musk, it's like if he was really concerned about his bottom line being affected, he really wouldn't get into politics. But I mean, maybe he likes the power. When you get that rich, it's almost like it doesn't really matter with the money. You just want the power. If your mayor is approving of this shit, you need to move out. Yeah, well, she's, I guess, not approving it. She's saying that they have it under control. They obviously don't. This is a thing to where it's typical politics 101. Trump has the ultimate power. Bass and Newsom are pissed off about it. And they want ICE to come in. They want ICE to get assaulted. They'll say, well, no, it was just a peaceful protest. We can't find who did it. And they want ICE to leave. And Trump says, no, ICE has a job to do. They'll be doing their job. And if we have to protect them, which obviously we do, we're going to send the National Guard to protect them. We're not doing this thing to where they all get shit thrown at them. Nobody can identify who did it. And they have to leave. It's just not going to happen that way. Long time no chat. Yeah. What's up, Corey? I do remember you with the Tennessee logo, man. I do. Why do you show articles from the anti-Trump New York Times? The New York Times has good scoops, dude. They do. I mean, the thing is, when it comes to reading news, as long as you know how to decipher what's bias, I mean, once you read enough news, you'll be able to understand. I could read CNN easily, and because you know when it's biased and stuff. But they have good information. They do on the administration. I mean, sure, they can be anti-Trump. I mean, but that's 90% of the news you'll read is anti-Trump. And then the other 10% is like I'll read Fox articles. I'll read any of the articles. Sometimes I like stop because I get angry because they're just so anti-Trump, and it's a lot of the times it's with the CNN articles are really bad. Musk bad. He should apologize for Republicans giving government all the cut money back. Yeah, I mean, you know, it turned into the thing about the bill and the deficit, and I think it was something else, man. Partially it was about the bill, but the bill is going to get changed by the senators anyways. To have a crash out like that over the bill it doesn't make a lot of sense. There were other things. I mean, he got a black eye from the administration. There were other things behind the scenes going on with Musk and Trump, and it was like reported that it was a month-long thing that he was being phased out of the administration anyways. And there's a power struggle. These are two alphas. I mean, you know how popular both Musk and Trump are? The thing is, and it was reported, you know, Musk now talks about starting this what did I say? Remember when I streamed on, when was it, Thursday? I said, these people, they come up with the most pathetic, cringy names. How about the America Party? Oh my God. The America Party? Let me get closer to this microphone. The America Party? How cringy is that? Patriot Party, America Party. Trump was going to, remember in 2000, Trump was going to do the Patriot Party or whatever. And, but the thing is Musk has no actual fans well, he has fans, but like if you're asked to choose between Trump and Musk, like 90% of the Republicans or 90% of people are going to choose Trump. And so Musk has all these fans. They're mostly from India. They're mostly from other countries. And that's really where his support comes from on the internet. He just doesn't have the support. So there's no way he's going to start a third party. I was going to do a video talking about Musk doing a third party and why it's retarded. But I don't think I'll have to, because I don't think he's going to do it. He said, I'm going to do the America Party. You know how long it's going to take to even get on all the ballots? That's what Scott Pressler said. He said, look, what are you talking about? You're doing a third party. You won't even be able to get on all the ballots in the states for 3 or 4 election cycles. Like, this is not something that you can just do. Did you see the Elon latest tweet? No, I didn't. Is it important?
In this picture right now has the possibility of being detained, subject to arrest there if they remain in this location. And you can see there here on live now from Fox Police.
Andrew Yang, dude, I feel like whenever, like, you don't want to be associated with Andrew Yang. It seems like anything he tries to do, it fails. That's just what it feels like to me. Now Andrew Yang wants to be a part of the party. It's like, get Andrew Yang, Stephen A. Smith, Mark Cuban. Isn't that what they were saying? Elon Musk can lead the finances of it, right? Yeah. Do you know how many people self-deported last month, especially since Dems tell people online to stand their ground and exercise their rights against ICE? Well, they've reported that a total of 700K in terms of the immigrant population has gone down, whatever that means. I don't know if that means there's a, you know, supposedly that would mean a lot of them self-deported. They were offering people $1,000 to leave the country because there's so many people here they can't find them. Or I guess you can find them, but there's just so many damn people. The amount of resources it takes to get everyone out is just so extensive. And you would think that if this is this is just a massive issue, the last administration would be reprimanded for allowing this to happen. But there's just, like, that's the craziest thing. It's like, you can allow 10 million people to come into the country over 4 years, but then if you try and remove 10 million people in 4 years, it's impossible because of they say, due process. You know, somebody was showing me an article talking about Obama having the most deportations without any law involved. So where he had like 300K deportations with no, I mean, obviously if they always talk about Obama deporting all these people, how do you do it? Well, it's not everyone is going to have the same process in which they're deported. So Obama's able to do it. There's no protest. There's nothing. Trump raids a Home Depot in a Mexican area in LA County, and this is what happens. I think the reason Trump is doing this is to show that this is going to happen in many places, and we will not, like the reason the National Guard came in is him saying we're not going to do this over and over again with this, to where we try and have a ICE raid to get illegals out, and there's this bullshit where our ICE agents are being assaulted. There's things being thrown at them. This is not going to happen. This is just not going to happen. This is not how you behave. You're going to be arrested for this, and we're going to make sure there's a law in order in place. And now, like, you know how much of a shithole LA is? The only time LA was ever clean was when the communists came in, meaning the CCP, when China came in. You remember when they cleaned everything up? And Newsom admitted on his podcast, he's like, yeah, we cleaned it up because the commies were coming. Well, they're not even communist anymore. That's how just dumb communism is. They're like, we're the Communist Party of China. Oh, wait, we actually want to be competitive on a world stage in terms of economy. Communism doesn't do that. So they switched to a mixed economy. What was that, 78? That's how dumb communism is. Even countries that say they're communist, they can't even be communist. If you want to be competitive on a world stage, you can't be communist. You won't grow. Have you been following Greta Thunberg floating to Gaza? Yeah, I saw that. I mean, that's a terrible look for the Zionists. I think I mean, obviously they're joking, but with something like that, if you're a Zionist, just ignore it. There's no reason to give it any light. The thing that Greta Thunberg is trying to get is attention. So, and then these Zionists just buy right into it, and they joke and they think it's funny, but no, it just makes you look like a terrible person for saying you should sink it. This is 100% Biden and the Democrats' fault. Americans want to feel safe in their own country. That's why Trump won. He's doing what... Exactly. This is what democracy looks like. Remember, they chant that. Wait, why haven't they chanted that recently? Oh, because Trump won everything and he won the popular vote. Because remember, their cope was always he lost the popular vote. Well, now they can't even do their chant. They can't even do their "this is what democracy looks like" chant. So they've completely blocked off one side of the freeway. Would you support a full invasion of Mexico? No, I don't see the point of that. Why would we want to take? We wouldn't want Mexico, but I understand how bad Mexico is in terms of the cartels and stuff. And maybe you do targeted strikes against cartels. I know Trump has talked about that, but you're not going to invade Mexico for what? That's a waste of resources.
Along this major freeway here southbound on the 101, just blocking out. Some of them are going back and forth. We heard some flashbangs there. Law enforcement trying to get this under control as much as they can. It has been very chaotic here, down here in downtown LA near the federal building all afternoon. You've had tear gas dispersed, rubber bullets deployed, the flashbangs, all to try and protect the property and to protect the people here from some of these anti-ICE protesters who are just causing chaos. Take a look at this video. Tear gas was used to disperse a crowd as some protesters threw back those tear gas canisters. This was yesterday in Paramount, a city in southeast. All
right, I'll take a look at the Elon stuff. Jeez, man. I mean, there better be something good if there's this many people. Elon's pissed off, outrageous at how much character assassination has been directed at me, especially by me. Went to the LA protest, Musk retweeting this dude. Yeah, Musk retweets this dude a lot. He's got a groupie people that he retweets. He's tweeting just some bullshit. I mean, this is like... Unless he's replying to stuff. A lot of like promoting X, talking about the bill, making fun of the bill. We Republicans spend money. It's not even we're not spending except on the military. Let's see what this dude saw.
I'm here in downtown LA in front of Los Angeles City Hall because there's a protest going on against the ICE raids that happened here on Friday. And I came to just check it out because sometimes it's so hard to know what's true when you're in the echo chambers in social media and mainstream media. It's getting all these narratives, and I just wanted to come down here and see for myself what was going on, what people are saying, what they're feeling. While I was here, someone handed me this literal communist newspaper, and it was interesting to note that the most common flag was a Mexican flag, as one would expect. Second most common flag, and it was actually pretty close, was the Palestinian flag.
I knew that was going to be the second most.
Few American flags in there as well. And when I asked some of the people with the American flags why did they have American flags, they said it was because they wanted to make sure that the bad guys don't get to hold the American flag as their symbol. So just a little bit of insight into the mind.
The thing is you would think that you think that they would, these people would have American flags. They're protesting to stay in the country. They want the people to stay in the country. It's like America's this big horrible place, but let's hold up Mexican flags and heaven forbid they get deported to Mexico. But why do you have a Mexican flag? It never makes any sense.
Their symbol. So just a little bit of insight into the mind of these people who are protesting, and it was largely peaceful. Now there are sirens going off, so I'm not really sure what's happening right now, but I do have some thoughts. I did make a video at the protest.
Flags for burning, LOL. You remember that one protest? I forget when this was, but this is when I was doing politics, so it couldn't have been that long. It was like last August, I think. Remember they had these three giant flagpoles. This was a Palestine protest. This was in DC too. They had three giant flagpoles. And they all had just, the giant American flags. So they take the American flags down, like you do when you take down a flag. They burn the American flags, the giant American flags, and they put up Palestinian flags. That's when it was just like, and then people are like, well, you should go to jail for burning an American flag. But then it's like, oh, it's freedom of speech. It is extremely disrespectful, but they want to be disrespectful. They hate the United States. They hate the United States, but they want all the entitlement from the United States. They want all the Medicare, Medicaid. They want all of it, but then they hate our country. They hate our country, and then they take a bunch from our country, and we have this horrible deficit because of these entitlements that we can't do anything about, because these same people that hate our country are benefiting from them. The fact that so many of them have been here for years and don't speak a word of English is insane. Oh, it should not be a lot. You should have to learn English, of course. But now that seems to be mainstream. It seems like a lot of people say you should. Dude, there was this one, I really wish I would have showed this. It's too far back now. Maybe it's like 4 weeks ago. I responded to this one, some type of clip. It was a clip, and it was like, I don't even remember what it was, but I was like, yeah, if you're an Uber driver, you should fucking know how to speak English. And then it was all these like liberals, like they're like these trendy, like, oh, we're not communists, but we're socialists. It's like, you know what it is. They're probably like 17 years old. And then they're like, oh, it's not required to speak English as an Uber driver. It should be required. Any job you have in the United States, you should speak English. What the fuck are you talking about? But then like, and these people, like, they get a bunch of likes. It's just like, dude, it's not even about just Uber. Like, I wasn't even making the point just about Uber. You should learn English. Yeah, obviously, especially considering if there was a problem with the instructions on the GPS on the car, you should know English. It's just insane. It's like the bare minimum. You should know English. And then they say, well, you can't, it's racist. That's racist. But now I think that's going away. I think most people are like, yeah, you should know English. I mean, that's the whole thing with immigration. With the immigration, it's, someone said it was an 80-20 issue. It's like 60-40 though, man, on this. It's like 60-40. 60-40 is good enough. 60-40 is good enough. California wouldn't have gone so blue without the immigration shit. Remember, California was red up until the 90s. Remember the Reagan elections, dude? Well, I mean, Reagan had a built-in advantage, but yeah, just in general, California's got a lot of conservative places. I mean, it's got a massive population, so of course, any state that's relatively big is going to have a lot of conservative places, because anywhere outside of a city is it's mainly conservative. But there are definitely conservative parts of California for sure. But they just infested it with immigration. Think about that. You know, did California really go blue, or did it just become globalist? It just became globalist. They just rampant immigration turned it blue. That's not like the Democrats were extremely good, so they turned California. They just utilized immigration. I mean, how many electoral votes is it? Like 55, 53? It's number one in terms of electoral votes. They have a massive economy. I'm not discounting that. But then you've got this thing with Trump and Newsom, and it was going to be this tussle, and Trump's just not dealing with it. He's not going to, because you know what the Democrats and these people do, like Karen Bass. Do you think Karen Bass gives a shit about an ICE agent being assaulted, or an ICE agent's car getting hit with a fucking rock? Obviously not. So Trump's like, we're not doing this, you stupid bitch. I'm sending in the National Guard. We're not, and then they cry about it. Okay. Well, you know what? Maybe you should have policed it a little bit better and had better control of the protesters that were doing this, and they all wear masks because they're all criminals. Is the freeway still blocked? Looks bad for the admin. I don't know. I mean, there's only so much you can do. What are you supposed to get them off the freeway? What do you got to pepper spray all of them to get them out? I don't even know what you do. I mean, if there's a bunch of them, it's kind of hard to get it under control. Newsom does this. It hurts his president run for 2020. I mean, a lot of Democrats probably like Newsom standing up to Trump. That's the unfortunate thing. You just have to win the Democratic primaries to be the nominee. I guess in a general election, people are sick of this shit. Why do you think the Democrats in 2024 didn't say jack shit about immigration? They ceded the point. They said, we actually tried to stop and secure the border, but Trump wouldn't let the bill pass. They basically said, no, we want a secure border as well. And they said that because they were fucking getting destroyed on the issue. If you look at the immigration issue, it was like, who do you trust more, Trump or Harris on the border? And it was like plus 40 for Trump, which the immigration is a huge issue every single election. So they said, well, we actually care about the border. No, you don't. You care about winning the election. That's it. The LAPD just trapped a ton of rioters on the freeway. It looks like they're just going to scoop them up. Well, that would get a lot of them. You can get like jail, reprimand like 80 of them. Feel bad for England with all those immigrants. Those citizens are getting shafted. Yeah, did you see that? Have you seen what's gone on with Keir Starmer? Hey, they've made a huge change, apparently. I mean, it's all complete bullshit. Like the Labour Party, which is their Liberal Party, they say, oh, now we're done with the immigration. Like, that's how bad it's gotten, to where the Liberal Party comes out and says, we've got to stop immigration. They're saying that in the UK now. Not that it matters. I mean, but the demographics of the UK are better than they are here. But in London, I know it's really bad. Like, if you go to London, I heard it's unrecognizable. And that's where it really hurts. I mean, if you're going to get an influx of immigrants, the big cities are the ones that go.
That I'm going to share with you guys tomorrow. But until then, here's some sights and scenes from the protest. Stay safe and enjoy.
Free movement for all. From LA to Gaza. That's what that sign says. Free movement for all from LA to Gaza. Klaus Schwab would be ecstatic, essentially. Like, dude, look at that mask. I mean, it's just... But you have to think, like, with this type of lifestyle, at what point does it become so bad? Because the lifestyle that, you know, that harbors this, to where it's all these like immigrants and crime and poverty, like, at what point does LA become just a non-functioning? I mean, they already have all the tents on the sidewalks. Like, do people not see that and say, well, you know what? Maybe this is not a very good way to run society. I mean, we have all these fucking, like, it's insane. I know Oakland is worse, but it's like, you'd think at some point, because I would just interview these people and be like, what do you think is going to happen to this place if you get more of an influx of demographic shifts? What do you think is going to happen? Do you think it's going to get better or worse? Because we've gotten the shifts from the 80s and the 90s, and it's gotten way fucking worse. And we're just talking about living quality. That's what I want to talk to these people about, is living quality. You blame President Reagan for this. Didn't he start the amnesty? Yeah, but I mean, yeah, but dude, even Reagan, you know, if you told Reagan these were the demographics in 2025, he would probably faint. I mean, I'm not trying to absolve Reagan of the amnesty, but I don't think nobody thought it was, because think about it. What was it? 20 million? No. Is it 10 million immigrants in 20 years, or so? Or like 20 million in 40 years, I think is what it was. Or maybe it was, I don't know, something like, it's just an insane amount. Klaus, yeah, you see that sign? You like that sign? You like that sign? We'll send him to Switzerland for you. Just graffitiing your city. I mean, he probably is coming from another one, but I guess it's spray paint. There's no, like, where's the anti-Trump stuff? Due process. What about the due process under Obama? Oh wait, there was done. That's how he was able to deport all those people. Dude. Did you see, apparently LA was notified they should expect ICE activity for 30 days? I didn't see that. Yeah, they're going for a wide-scale raid of, you know, a lot of these areas in LA and these liberal places. I mean, Chicago, New York City, although Adams seems more cooperative. But, you know, you're going to be dealing with these in many different places. The liberal hubs, I mean, imagine you go up to Oregon and how bad it is with Portland and Seattle. I mean, it's probably. What do you think what did they do to Kash Patel and Dan Bongino? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, those guys just, they flipped like a switch, didn't they? Bongino and Patel. Patel especially. If you remember Patel, and they showed videos of Patel back in 2023 and what he was saying versus now, it's California is the epicenter for crime, low quality of life, anti-USA. I know, just like looking at all of this, it's crazy. This is, I mean, but with the buildings, you can tell it's America. I can tell, but not because I recognize some of the buildings, just the architecture of it. But I mean, just in general, the people, it's just insane. Man. Why do they hate ICE in LA? It's so hot. Yeah, who wants to drink warm water? Literal ice. Ice should bring out some ice for him. What if ice just like started dumping bags of ice on him? I mean, that would make sense. That would make sense. Spray painted on the wall, F Trump. Yeah, I mean, obviously they hate Trump. This is from Elon? No, this was retweeted by Musk. This was not from Elon. Never forget. Yeah, do it. Hey, try. They should try and do it. You know, if they did actually invade, that would justify us at least taking this sliver of extended California. Baja. You think they got to raise LA to ground? Well, I think they're going to, I think there's going to be ongoing protests, it looks like, for a few weeks if this is true about the ice raids that are going to be happening for a month. You think it's going to get worse in the coming days? Oh, yeah, here it is. Here's Trump's slip. Yeah, I mean, Trump, I don't see that big problem with that compared to what Biden did. Like, did they have the Biden one? Rubio stumbled on purpose. How do you fall 3 times in the span of 2 stairs? You fall 3 times in the span of 2 stairs. I love this person. Ha, man, you guys are wackos. Man, we don't want our country to be invaded. We're wackos. Oh. Just like look at these protests and it's like, this is, remember that song? This is America. This is America? Really? Whew. Oh, man. I guess this is the big cities in America for sure. But it's like these people are all from other countries. They're all at these protests. This is just like the globalist wet dream. And then none of it makes sense. They've got the Mexican flags. Okay, you've got the Mexican flags. You love Mexico. We're sending you to Mexico. You love it. To be fair, the stairs are a bit steep, especially for Biden. I mean, with how bad he's aged. I mean, dude, I just tweeted this Mexican president now threatens to invade the U.S. just out of control. Antifa plans to attack an ICE facility in San Francisco, according to Fox. Well, now Antifa's helping. Oh, this will be interesting. There's going to be a multi-city uprising by a small minority of radicals, Summer of Love 2.0. Over what? Deporting illegals? This is insane. We got to deal with this from these rabid left-wing people. Well, the thing is they get away with all of it. They can firebomb the dealerships. Now they do this where they're throwing projectiles at windshields, trying to cause accidents, and just, it's all, these are horrible people. You like Rubio, Vance, Rubio makes sense, but those two may not get along. Who, Vance and Rubio? I mean, it's, I don't really get the sense that they wouldn't really get along. It depends how they do in the administration, I guess, and we'll see within the next 2 years. Deport anyone that has any other flag than American flag. What do you say? Well, I mean, that does set a pretty steep precedent if you do that. You know, that's it becomes a freedom of speech thing. I mean, you could say, well, you look at these people, it's like these cities, man. I don't know. It's you know, the thing is I've never been to LA. When I went to San Francisco, there were a lot of Asian people. But that was like 10 years ago, you know, so maybe there's been some change, but I remember seeing that. You just go to these major cities. I wonder the type of people you'll see at these major cities. Is it really that bad? I'm guessing it is, man. It's just like these. How do liberals, and you see all these white liberals on the internet. It's like there's no way these people live with the actual results of what they preach. The results of what they preach is like this. It's like LA County. It's a diverse, it's multicultural. It's nobody caring about society. It's just homeless everywhere. It's crap everywhere. Because the people that you bring into your society, they make the society. And you want to bring anyone into your society, so the society's not going to do well. The city's not going to do well. The common roads are not going to be taken care of. There's no accountability. There's no thoughtfulness between people. There's no cohesion at all. You know, this is a cultural thing. But these people, they all just live in smaller communities. They're all white communities. And then they preach this other shit that causes these major cities to turn into complete shitholes. There's a possibility of this escalating into a George Floyd-like riot? Well, I think the only way that could happen is if somebody was shot or something like that. I don't think it could happen otherwise. So let's hope nothing like, you know, we don't want anything like that to happen, obviously. You never know, though. When you bring all these people together, it's very unpredictable in what they're going to do. CNN guests said they're paid protesters. Well, some of them, I'm sure, are bussed in for sure. You're not just going to get an organic situation like this. They hear about it. They want to cause trouble. So they come in and they contribute to it. The more of them that there are, the more powerful they are. Are you worried about this happening in other states too? The major cities, I think, it's always a concern. The major cities like Atlanta, New York, Chicago, Austin, possibly. I mean, it's the same thing. Minneapolis. Remember, dude, I'll never forget that video, and I still can't find it to this day. You guys should have seen this video of Minneapolis the day after. It was, I don't know the exact day. It was like probably mid-June of 2020 after the George. It might have been a city surrounding, maybe a city surrounding Minneapolis, but the city looked like it had just received a carpet bombing run, similar to what like Austria looked like in 1945. Like the city was completely annihilated. I really wish I could have found it, because it's like, how do you look at that and say that January 6th is worse than this? But then remember what happened is we started comparing January 6th to the BLM stuff, and the BLM stuff was just like, I mean, you're talking about like 100 times more in terms of property damage. So they were like, well, it's not necessarily about the amount of deaths or the property damage. It's about the nature of it. And it was an attack on the Constitution, so that's why it was worse. So they had to qualify it because we started to compare it, and it was so much worse, the BLM stuff. So then they're like, well, wait. It's because it was an attack on the Constitution. Obama had better immigration numbers and data. Yeah, but you understand Obama's entire immigration infrastructure was stuff that was passed by W. Bush. You realize that? And then he just extended it. And also, Obama wasn't dealing with radical conservative. And the other thing is, Obama didn't have to deal with all these new people in the country that Trump has to deal with. That happened under Biden, a Democrat. Vancouver seemed very dirty too. Oh yeah, I've heard bad things about Vancouver. I've heard some bad things about Vancouver, and you know, Toronto is just, it's just, I heard it's gone. I've heard Toronto, you see some videos from Toronto, it's real bad. But I mean, that's what they did. You look at the immigration change in Canada. Canada, because their population is small, if you import a bunch of people, you know, with the United States, with our population as big as it is, I mean, it's going to have an impact, but it's more spread out. In Canada, all of their population is in the southern part, and it's insane the amount of immigration that they got within the last 4 years. This whole thing was a culmination of decades of bad immigration policy. California might be too far gone. Yeah, I mean, well, California, there's still good parts of California, don't get me wrong, of course. But too far gone in terms of turning back right. Yeah, California is not turning back. In terms of like livability, I mean, the thing is I would never live in California anyways because of the taxes, and also it's just a thing to where I like 4 seasons, and also I don't want to live in the Pacific Standard Time Zone. But there's some weird things I know, but I'd rather want to live on East Coast or Central Standard Time. Seek of the Way, what's up, man? Law and Order has returned. Well, yeah, they're trying, man, with this. We'll see what happens with the National Guard. We'll see if there's any more updates. They are arresting him on the freeway now. But the problem with these people is they think it's like a prideful thing to be arrested. You have to put them in jail. California or Ontario to live. I've heard Canada has horrible taxes, but when it comes to like California as a whole, there's beautiful parts of California. But like in terms of like LA County, then it becomes, I would never live in LA County. But that's not even the fact that they're dealing with all of this. That's more so I don't want to live with that many people with the population density. And so they cheer them on, they get arrested, but I mean, it's just like, things are really bad. It isn't even night yet. Also, the mayor is about to do a press conference. Karen Bass. Yeah, she's going to bitch about Trump. Thoughts on Palantir? Yeah, Palantir is a data optimization conglomerate. They take a bunch of data files and they optimize them and they make it palatable for you to read. That's what Palantir does. Now look, I don't know about all the stuff to where they're going to set up some type of database with all citizens. I mean, they've already done all of that, but look, I don't like any of it, honestly. But I mean, that's obviously happening. It is happening. I do think there's a lot of fear-mongering behind it. Like, oh, you're not going to be able to criticize Israel without, it's like, come on. There's some fear-mongering there. Gavin Newsom and MSNBC are working together, gonna twist it into a Trump piece. Oh, they've already tried to twist it. Remember, anytime Trump uses executive authority, they always just call him a dictator no matter what. So anything Trump does that they think is, oh, he's using his presidential powers that he received by winning all the swing states and winning the election democratically, he shouldn't be able to utilize his presidential powers. Don't allow them to gaslight you, and Trump can utilize this, and this is a statement Trump is doing with this National Guard deployment. God, what is this, like, 6-year-old kid who weighs like 10 pounds gonna do? Well, time to go to jail.
I think that's just smoke. I don't think that's tear gas.
How long before Trump invokes the Insurrection Act? Depends how bad it gets tonight. That's what I would say. Kamala Harris is appalled. by Trump deploying the National Guard, it's going to spread panic and division, just like when they tried causing accidents by throwing projectiles at the windshield of the ICE SUVs. You think that's good? You think that's under control? They want the ICE agents to get hammered and to be assaulted, and nobody goes to jail, and they say, we can't find them. But that's not going to happen. That's why the National Guard's going in. Smoke grenade, not tear gas. Yeah, that's what the dude said. How bad do you think it's gonna get? It depends if there's like a trigger. You know, I don't think it's too bad right now, but if something happens in terms of real violence, then it's gonna get real bad. Because they've already got a large cohort of these Antifa people there now, apparently. But it depends. You know, hopefully it doesn't get any more violent than this, and there's no real trigger to turn it from a bad situation to whatever it could be, like real ugly. What's lost on these fools? If Trump cleans up the mess, it's only going to help his approval rating in the GOP in the general election. Yeah, but I mean, they're always just going to spin it negatively, like, oh, Trump shouldn't be. Like, look at this. Oh, thank you for the membership. I appreciate it. Yeah, I still haven't figured. I need to do that to where people can be able to gift memberships. That's another thing that I got to find out. You think the protest? She lost the election sounds bitter. Well, she's trying to run for governor of California. You got to remember. So, but and so she's gonna come out against something that happens in California under Trump's watch. So it doesn't really surprise me that she's commenting. But it's just such like it's the Democrat liberal talking point. She's basically just repeating what Newsom said and what Bass said. How is Trump doing in overall polling the first 100 days? Bill Maher said worst polls than any modern president. True. Yeah, it's out of context. It's completely out of context. What they did was they had a bunch of Democrat juiced polls come out right towards the 100-day mark, and then they were able to run with that. And then they did new polls, and then his approval rating went way up. Now his approval rating's like -1. To sum up Bass's conference, she's condemning vandalism around the city, but is blaming Trump for everything, including the violence somehow. Bitching, just like you said. So she's blaming Trump for the so basically she wants there to be a bunch of illegals roaming around the city. How else are we going to deport these people? You do raids at the workplaces. So she doesn't want any of the illegals deported. Is that what it is? Because how else are you going to get these people deported? She'll win. Harris, probably. I mean, she's a heavy favorite, I know. If she runs and there's talk of her running, people were saying, well, is she going to do 2026 with the governorship, or is she going to do another, 2028? I don't think. I think Democrats, with them, they control who gets that nomination. The Democrat elites do within DC, and they're going to tell her, we're not going to give it to you. There's no way. You're not going to. Why would we? She wants to have this redemption arc, and her supporters, who I think are just going to leave her anyways, because her support is so flimsy anyways, and it's like they'll go to whoever the next person is, whether it's Newsom, Shapiro, Cuban, you could talk about an outsider. They'll leave her, but the DC elites are going to tell her, we're not going to pick you, bitch. You had your chance. You probably shouldn't have even been VP. Actually, you should not have been VP, and you're a big part of the reason why Trump not only won, but he won even the popular vote. And then they say, well, we always win the popular vote. Yeah, when you import people, you import voters, it's easy to win the popular vote. You're right. People were saying that the protests were peaceful until ICE guards instigated them. Is that true or not? Of course it's not true. The ICE guards are there to arrest illegals. They got angry that they were arresting illegals, and they started... I mean, the thing is if you don't let them do their job, they're going to try and do their job. And then they say, well, them attempting to do their job is it's causing the protesters to be angered. No, it's the protesters shouldn't even be there. Why are they there exactly? They're there because illegals are getting arrested. Well, so that's not a reason. That's why ICE is there, is to arrest illegals. They're mad illegal immigrants are being arrested. They chant due process. Well, did you engage in due process when you entered the country? Well, did Obama engage in due process when he deported 300K people back in 2010? I mean, this is serious stuff. I'm going to have to go look that up because these people are not going to be able to use that anymore. Once I find the actual data on that, it's going to get very bad. They start doing this due process bullshit. I'm going to go tweet that out tonight. I'll find it. I'll tweet it out. Because, I saw somebody say that, and I'm like, absolutely, this is 100% right. They laud Obama's deportation numbers, and Republicans compare them to Trump. There's no way that all those people were getting due process under Obama. That's bullshit. You couldn't deport that many people. There are 3 perfect cities left in America, and I'm not telling any of you losers what they are. Yeah, they're probably located in the Great Plains. They're probably like white suburbs or something. Well, actually, I wouldn't even know what a great city is because I haven't I guess it depends what you want in a city, how big the city has to be labeled like a bigger city. Due process shouldn't be given to illegals. Well, I know, but then they'll say, well, are they really illegal? Shouldn't you, but it's like, you're right. I mean, there's no reason to. They don't have rights. They're not citizens. Why would they have rights? Citizens have the rights. Thoughts on JD Vance making fun of the Elon simp? Ian Miles Chung. Yeah, that was pretty funny on Theo Vaughn's podcast. Yeah, Vance obviously has burners and stuff, and so he must know what's going on to a degree if he knows of that dude. Because people loved when they saw that. It was pretty funny. Nashville, dude, I heard Nashville is expensive as hell. A lot of people are fleeing to Nashville. A lot of people are going to Tennessee in general, I've heard. But Nashville is like really expensive now. You like Columbus? Columbus is expensive. I mean, I guess anywhere where, you're talking about suburban area surrounding Columbus, it's going to be expensive. Due process is just following the law of deportation and... Yeah, right. Well, they want them to all have court appearances, that's why. AI is just a tool. It makes work easier, that's all. Yeah, AI can do some pretty crazy things. I've heard some horror stories about AI, but it's like people saying about all the stuff that AI is going to do, it's really just dystopian predictions. I mean, nobody really knows. So a lot of it, I try to tune out a lot of the predictions because they're all very bad. And maybe it is going to be like that. I don't know. Any more news from Alberta? I'd have to look it up. I haven't really looked it up. $30 million whites on welfare. I won't talk about it because I'm too biased. I'm too biased to talk about white people on welfare. Yeah, there's a lot of white people in this country. Some of them are going to be poor. Is that really surprising? Why don't you look at the comparison in terms of per capita comparison? Where does your family stand politically? I'm on the right. And my family is non-political. Which video? The one with the stilts? The one with the... Oh, this dude in the Otani shirt? Let's see if I have any likes on here of anything interesting. Oh, look at this. What is this? If necessary, we'll mobilize. We don't want taxes on remittance for our fellow countrymen from the US to Mexico. Yeah, there's a 5% remittance tax. People think it should be 25%. People think it should be 50%. Women shouldn't be in the National Guard. I see way too many. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, 100% you're right. Like, what is this lady talking about? You're going to mobilize? That's why I said Mexico was going to invade. It was a joke. It was a joke tweet. It's a joke tweet. Would you cry if California fell into the ocean? Well, listen, California is a major part of the U.S. economy, to be fair. But, you know, the state has been eroded, obviously, through immigration. There's no doubt about it. And that's just the reality of, go look at the living quality of some of the bigger cities in California. It's gone significantly down. If you want to dispute that, I mean... She was threatening invasion. Well, I mean, what is she talking about? She's saying they'll mobilize for a remittance tax because Mexicans in the United States are getting a remittance tax of 5%. That's only going to make us like, you know, I thought it was going to make us more, but from what I saw, it was like $30 billion total a year. Will these ICE protests spread around like 2020? Yeah, my thought is there would have to be a catalyst, which I hope there's not. I'm talking because I don't think there's the energy or there's the lightning in the bottle in terms of like something happening between an ICE agent and a protester. Like if somebody got shot or something, which obviously we hope doesn't happen. But I'm saying I think if there were to be a 2020 situation, I think something would have to happen. An event would have to happen. Not just them being angry that ICE is doing raids and deporting people. There would have to actually be something that would take it to the next level. And then it would cause a nationwide thing. That's what I think. But I mean, think about the 2020 stuff. It happened right in June. Happened right around this time in 2020. But again, I don't think at this stage it can really get anywhere close to that level unless there's a catalyst. If Canada lifted its ceiling on mineral exploitation, Alberta would have a larger GDP than California. Yeah, but they'd have to be able to mine all of those. I'm not sure they'd be able to mine them within. I mean, how long would that take? Kamala or AOC smash or pass between Kamala and AOC. I don't know, man. I see AOC is getting a little heavier. I guess I'd say AOC. Let's see. Do I have anything here? Yeah, this is what they've been reporting. Musk had a physical altercation with Bissent in the White House before public feud with Trump. Trump called Musk a big time drug addict. Yeah, I mean Musk is very he said he's on ketamine, he's on, so it's like he's unpredictable. We don't know what Musk is going to do. Rioters burning cars, telling everyone to come back at 11 a.m. for more. What do you mean 11 a.m.? Like tomorrow? That surprises me they wouldn't do it. You'd think it would get worse at night. Remember how bad it got in 2020 at night? Oof. Remittance tax should be at least 25%. That's a way that that kills that could solve a lot. You put a remittance tax at 25%. That could solve, because either we're generating or they're going to have to go back because they can't afford a 25% tax. Did you ever finish the 10K Royal Planetarium? That's a, you've seen that set? Yeah, I never did that set. Yeah, I still have it. You know, that set, I think it's 12,000 actually, 12,000 pieces. Yeah, I still have it. What do you think of XRP? I'm not into XRP personally, man. I think XRP's market cap is too high for it to really. I mean, plus we saw what it did in 2021. They say the SEC suppressed it. I don't know, man. I would pass on XRP. I don't know. Maybe it'll be big. I've heard some people say, well, could get adopted and become significantly. I mean, it goes to $1 trillion. What is that, like a 5x for it? You're very disappointed in Elon? Yeah, I mean, the Elon stuff, I originally didn't take it seriously because I was like, well, he's done this before. But then when you start doing the whole Epstein thing, and yeah, I've discussed the Epstein stuff and how ridiculous it is that liberals would sit on that and not expose Trump. It doesn't make any sense. So-called anti-Semitic attacks happening right now at the NBC and Colorado are really suspicious, especially the Colorado will run. The attacker echoes Mossad agent. Yeah, anything with anti-Semitic attacks, you have to think there's something more to it, just because of the amount of those attacks are normally used as political leverage. But I mean, it's a lot of it's hard to really decipher which ones are. Physical altercation, punched in the head, it punched in the face. Do you think libs will accept Elon now? Elon's not going to go back. He's not going to go to the left. I mean, Elon would still be like more center, or he wouldn't go to the left. I don't think. Did you sell the Epstein coin? I didn't even have it. I had sold the Epstein coin months ago, man. But you know, then the Epstein coin shoots up to 800K, and then it just immediately retraces. But I didn't. I would have sold it if I had it, but I didn't have it. The LA police appear to have successfully pushed away all the protesters off the 101 freeway and back onto the street. So hopefully they get the freeway back open. They're now burning autonomous Waymo cars. Well, yeah, and they were doing that. They were doing that yesterday and the day before as well. There were videos of it. Let me see if I could find. Thing is, if I do it, if I look at this, it's just this For You page is just No need to have federal troops on the ground. They're really trying to get this Trump thing in there. They're trying to use this as... Majority of voters approve of Trump's deportation plan, according to CBS News poll. I don't know if I took a loss on that coin. I think I might have broken even, maybe. I don't remember, honestly. I know all of your views come from hardcore MAGA, so you avoid covering Trump in any negative light. But I mean, honestly, with that, it's like... The thing is, with the negative Trump stuff, it kind of seems played out. Like, and I guess it depends on what you look at, but all I see are like conservatives who say, oh, I like Trump, but now he's doing all these bad things. And it's just like, you know what? I just support Trump because he's my leader. Honestly, that's honestly it. I support my leader. And I'm sick of seeing these people. They just say, oh, now it's like this whole grift to where, oh, I'm conservative, but Trump is doing bad things. He's not getting anything done. It's like, okay, isn't it played out? Yes, the Benny Johnson, the cat turd, that is cringy but it's like, I don't know. I just think the whole, oh, I'm a conservative, but I don't like Trump. It's just like, come on. We need to build more prisons if we're going to enforce laws again. Well, you know, Trump said he wanted to open Alcatraz again. It's conveniently located with where these protests are. But, yeah, I don't think you can reopen Alcatraz. Alcatraz is sinking. You know, it's an island. It's sinking into the water. The renovation of Alcatraz would be too ridiculous. What does this even mean? We see peaceful protests launching in Los Angeles. Launching? That's kind of a weird word to use with peaceful. That's a bad reason. Yeah, well. Media and influencers are working day and night to try and discredit the administration. People are falling for the TDS with inflation and eggs. Yeah, I know, that's what I'm saying, and it's even the conservative people are doing it as well. So I just say, you know what, Trump's my leader, so I support my leader. And so it's like, because at this point, it's like, you know, liberals are going to hate Trump no matter what. So do I really come out and say some negative things about Trump? Like, anyone could do that. I'd rather support Trump. You know, Trump's had some things. I said Trump did some bad stuff with the crypto and stuff, so I don't know. Sean, what's up? The whale enters. The orca. I like that. A congressman once taught me that if you put too much weight on one side of an island, it could capsize. Is that like a political saying? Did you support Biden then? I didn't vote for Biden. Biden was not a part of the party that I support, so no. I mean, listen, I think you always have to hope and then this is the thing that we're going to end up doing. You know, we hope the country does well when Democrats lead it. We hope it does. Yeah, it's like you hope the country does well. But if there's intrinsic differences, like if you have Democrats saying, like, it's not like you don't root for the country to fail. But if you have Democrats saying, yeah, we want more illegal immigrants to come into the country, why? Like, obviously, it's I'm not going to support that. You can support Trump and acknowledge Palantir bad. Well, Palantir is a data optimization conglomerate. They take large amounts of data and they interpret it, and they basically, I mean, it's like an AI data. It's not a language model. Now, Palantir is an American company, so I don't know, but listen, it's more of a data optimization thing. It's a little bit different from like OpenAI or Grok or the Chat GPT, the Gemini, things like that. Ignore anyone who says undocumented. Well, yeah, it's just they're just trying to make it more palatable, so they say undocumented instead of illegal. So many grifters in the chat, probably something to do with your title tonight. No, I don't think so. It's not a weird title. It's just talking about the protests. I mean, we had a lively chat when I was doing one on Thursday. That was mainly because of the whole Trump Elon thing, and you'll get more liberals, and they were kind of happy about it. So I mean, I understand you want to gloat because of it, but I mean, honestly, the thing is, what people have to understand with the Trump and Elon thing, there's all these people saying, well, how can they have this argument? They're acting like women. I mean, AOC said that the ladies are fighting. And AOC didn't realize, like, liberals will interpret that as sexist, what she said. I thought it was funny what AOC said. But, I was like, Trump has said nothing. I mean, Trump barely said anything bad about Elon. He said he wished him well. I mean, sure, he said some things like, we might have to take some of his subsidies away. But, I mean, Trump was really calm, I thought, during that entire ordeal. I don't think Trump really went even 10% of, how hard he could at Elon. Are you in Rentcoin? I'm not. I'm trying to get into some different coins that have been out for a while on Ethereum, some lower caps, like Strategic Bitcoin Reserve I'm trying to get into, or I've gotten into a few others. But I've got like 5 or 6 coins that I like right now because it's like, dude, I got this thing. It's insane. We have these taxes in Ohio. I got this tax bill. This is like an extra tax. I pay my original tax, but now they sent me this thing in the mail. They said, you got an extra tax. I got this $5,000 I got to pay. So I said to my tax people, I said, what is this? This is, this is something. Is there something, can we get this down or something? And they're like, no, you got to pay it. How do you get a $5,000 bill for some other bullshit? I don't even know what it is. I just pay it. But now I have a setup now to where I pay quarterly or I pay a tax estimate. Because YouTube, of course, they don't take shit from you. So you have to do it yourself. But they say my quarter 2 estimate is due in June. I don't understand. Quarter 2 is through June, but they make me pay it earlier. The cool centrist is an annoying grift. People on the right fall for it with Stephen A. No, you're at that's a really good point with Stephen A. I get pissed off seeing people talk about Stephen A. But I haven't heard much about Stephen A. He supports reparations and said he likes Nikki Haley. Worst combo of opinions. Good on sports, though. Yeah, I don't know, man, about Stephen A. He just seems like he doesn't. I mean, he just randomly spawned out of nowhere and wants to be. There's no way the Democrats he'd ever do well in a Democratic primary, I don't think. Because their party is controlled by the establishment, so how would he break in? Trump Elon redemption arc when? I think Elon would have to do a public apology, I would imagine. But dude, the thing is Elon is so rich, it's like, it's just hard because you want the money, you want that to be part of the Republican Party in a way, but it's one of those things to where Musk obviously is to a degree, more pro-immigration, but this is the thing with it's the concessions when you're talking about politics because you need the money. But, I mean, Elon would have to give an apology to Trump, I would imagine. I mean, you could talk about them, they're going to talk behind the scenes and make up. But, Musk said a few days ago, he said, well, if Trump releases all of the Epstein files, and he deletes all these tweets, but he said, if Trump releases all of the Epstein files, then I will, I'll profusely apologize. Are we ever going to reclaim the Panama Canal? You've heard about Greenland and Canada on and off. but Panama has been dead quiet since BlackRock took the ports. Yeah, well, that deal didn't go through the last I heard. I'll have to look into that. The last I heard with the Panama Canal was BlackRock was supposed to buy them, but technically they're owned by Hong Kong. And so we know China, the CCP said, well, we're not permitting Hong Kong to sell them to BlackRock. So it was hung up. I don't know if they ended up getting sold to BlackRock or not. But that would be the main ports on either side of the canal. I don't know, man. I mean, how do you... I just thought they wanted the Chinese influence out, but then Hegseth said, well, no, we might have to send troops in because we would take back the zone. It really doesn't save us much money. I mean, I guess it would save us $3 or $4 billion a year in tolls. But I mean, we use it 70% of the time. China uses it 20% of the time. It's us and China. That's who's using the canal. An explanation would be more interesting than an apology from Elon. His behavior was literally bizarre. Yeah, well, he could say I was on drugs and it was bad and I was going through a tough time. I mean, he might say something like that. You don't think China should be allowed to own land in America because it's a communist country and you'd rather... Well, of course not. No, they strategically buy up land and, the government owns so much federal land. That's the thing. They say the government owns like up to $1 billion. Oh, no. $500 billion of federal land. $500 billion to $1 trillion that they could sell. But they shouldn't really sell it to anyone. It's, Trump and Palantir is completely indefensible. There's no defense, no matter how anyone wants to twist and spin it. Yeah, I mean any of the AI stuff is bad, but I know it's the Israel thing. But the AI stuff is gonna happen one way or another. So no matter what company is, it's bad. Professional grifter Massey and Rand Paul getting hammered today by Miller. Well, yeah, they raise money off of it. They say they stand up to Israel just to raise like $23,000 and they brag about it. Well, Rand doesn't, but Massey does. 500 Marines are deploying to LA. Is that breaking now? Is that new news? I can't really do the For You page. That stuff has just too much shit on it. Wow, so it's going to escalate possibly. You made it back in time, had to leave stream for an hour. Yeah, this stream's been nice. This stream's been humming along. I think because I was looking at all the clips earlier. It's already like an hour and a half in. Cory Booker did not the Nazi salute. Yeah, he actually did do one closer. That was closer to what Musk did. But like the whole thing with Musk is a troll. He wanted to see if he could get away with it. That's it. What's the big deal? Like with the salute, it's like, and then he says it's a Roman salute because technically it is kind of a Roman salute, but because he had his hand right here. But yeah, it's whatever. I mean, Cory Booker actually did something that was similar to it, comparable. It wasn't as thunderous, but it was similar. No wonder California wants to be independent. Well, I mean, when they have the economy that they do, of course, there's gonna be people within Cali that would want to be independent. But I mean, you look at some of those cities, they're not even recognizable. But that's how cities are, major cities are across the U.S. It is funny seeing the people protest. They're all either like soy liberals that weigh like 120 pounds, or they're it's just like minorities of Mexicans, and it's just how can people go to work? Well, it depends how long this lasts. I mean, it is over the weekend, so. But yeah, if it's tomorrow and still going on, and they're blocking the roads. So it's okay for Elon to do it. Got it. Well, no, I'm just explaining to you what it is. If you don't want the explanation, I mean, Musk is a troll. He wanted to see if he could get away with it and just see what would happen. I mean, this is what he's probably on something. I don't know what to tell you. You should have over 1 million subscribers, one of the best channels on YouTube. And then the next comment, I love you. But that's great. Those are not my AI agents. Those are my Palantir agents. I appreciate that. Is this a riot in LA, the Dems January 6th for midterms? I don't know. It's hard to say that. I mean, it depends how, if this is just an LA thing, I don't think it's going to be thought of as that insane. It depends what happens. If there's a catalyst to where they're bringing in these Marines now, if there's something that happens, you never know. What these protesters are very unpredictable, or the rioters, I should say. They're very unpredictable. Some of them are protesters, some of them are rioters. It depends. When is the last time you... I'm not answering that, man. Come on. JL, it's irrelevant. We have to put Mexico in its place at all costs. Well, they're already... They're an insect to the United States in terms of their power. They're not powerful. But how does that leader, like I put out this tweet. Guys, go look at this tweet I put out. Oh, man. Good luck with that. The Mexican president now threatens to invade the U.S. Out of control. Yep. This is a good tweet. You thought New York was also protesting? Expect a summer. I know everyone's expecting the George Floyd summer of love 2.0. Do you think Canada might invade the U.S.? Imagine. We would be able to take Alberta then. That would give us the right to take Alberta if they did that. Thoughts on Dave Portnoy melting down on his podcast over Jew jokes? He's a complete clown. He can dish it, but he can't take it. And that's a big problem with him. But he's a baby. You listen to him, and you see how he treats his... He's just a baby. Like, if you hear how he communicates with his employees and stuff, he's just not a pleasant person. And again, with him, it's always like, I get to do this, but you can't do that. Okay. And then he tries to equate it like, oh, you're killing them by talking. Like, dude, please. I don't even like playing to that, but if you want to talk about what his people are doing in Gaza, it's like, come on. You really don't want to bring that up. Dude, I hate when people say it's a simulation because it's like, what's the point? I don't know, man. I never liked that. Joe Rogan used to always do podcasts about it being a simulation. Rules of engagement for Marines is lethal force. Well, what does that mean if they get thrown? What if they throw rocks at them? I mean, this is a mess, man. Hopefully this doesn't spiral because yep, that's the result of modern liberalism. This is the result of globalism and the rampant diversity. This is the result. This is what you get. Trump administration might have to accept they can't deport them all. There are illegals that have been here for a year, no criminal record. You think they should be accepted? Well, that's not. It doesn't matter whether them being here for years doesn't matter whether they've been here a minute or a year. It's there comes a point where a nation has laws. The laws have to be followed. I mean. Did you see Trump again threatens to use military force if Iran refuses to denuclearize the other day? Yeah, that's a negotiation tactic. I mean, it's well known now. If you listen to some of the top people, you know, Trump is definitely we're gonna have a nuclear deal with them. I mean, it's too far along. We've already had 5 talks with them, you know. It's too far along. So there'll be a deal with Iran, and they'll be enriching to about 2.5% or something. That's what I heard. But I mean, if they can enrich to 2.5%, that's only for nuclear energy. That's, you know, you have to get to 90% enrichment for a nuclear bomb. So we'll do a deal with them, and that'll be a victory for Trump. Happened last week. Did you see the Paris riots of immigrants rioting, burning down Paris over soccer team winning the European Cup? No, I didn't see that. But that kind of seems more... That's a different type of riot if your team wins and then you... I think it's not acceptable behavior, but that's a little bit different. Yeah, Neil, I never liked the simulation stuff because, like, what's the point of it's just there's no point. So that's it's like a lot of the AI stuff now you see with the predictions. Like, people can predict anything on what AI will do. It doesn't really matter if they're right or wrong. So it's just a lot of it. I've just tuned a lot of it out. Trump traveling to Canada next week for G7. G7's going to be big. Yeah, Alberta. You think the Elon meltdowns have something to do with him being on the spectrum? Yeah, I've heard a lot of people say that. A lot of people have said that about Elon and, you know, the autism factor and things like that. They say you go from 0 to 100. They've dealt with it and they've seen it firsthand. Kamala Harris statement, she's irrelevant. Yeah, she put out a statement.
Declared. As we see,
holding a Mexican flag on top of a burning car.
Up on the hood of the car. I'll just speak about yesterday. It took some time for emergency crews to get the fire out of the vehicle fire that happened yesterday. It took some time before officials could move in, clear the crowd firstly, make sure it's safe to go near the vehicle, and then douse the flame.
Do you listen to Rogan? When I was younger, I used to listen to Rogan, but it's been a while. But I mean, I'll hear clips. I'll hear clips, but not actual podcasts. SPX 6900 over $1 again. I know. Yeah. Hopefully the other ones follow it. The other stock to meme coins. But SPX it's a big hoss. It's a big hoss. There's no doubt about it. You're going to be an hour away from Trump when he comes next week for the G7. Should you drive over to the summit? Yeah, drive over and try and get a video of Trump. I don't know. How do they do that in terms of the summit? Is there a public appearance? There's a lot of world leaders going to be at that. Any more stadium videos? I just did one today, man. Did an MLB. I might do the same type of style video I did today with the MLB stadiums with NFL and NBA arenas. So maybe we'll have to see how that video does. Gem. Thank you for that, man. Economy not doing bad right now. It's well on its way. Yep, I know. That's the thing is we've got all the indicators. These dumb liberals, they're illiterate when it comes to just economic metrics. We have the indicators. It's inevitable. We will have an amazing economy in 10 months. I know the indicators. I know the metrics. So that's a great comment you just had there. Yeah, it's a matter of time. Just let it happen. Because we know we're getting the right cuts. It's impossible for us not to get them. They thought they were betting on inflation and inflation didn't come. Now they're saying it's a yearly lag. You know, I talk to these people on X. They say, oh, it lags for a year. No, it doesn't. That's complete bullshit. And how would we even get heavy inflation with a 30% rate on China now? It's a 30%. That's going to give us heavy inflation. Come on. They were hoping there was going to be inflation. There's no inflation. The Fed, they've backed the Fed into the corner. The Fed's going to be forced to cut. They have to cut. But it's going to take them a while to cut because we have to work out these trade deals. But the trade deals, whatever happens with the trade deals, it's on its way. It's, you know, when you get Trump in the economy, man, you give him a year, it'll be nice. Because gas and egg prices dropped, everything dropped. The important stuff dropped. We'll say that. The important stuff. Do you listen to Scott Ritter and Larry Johnson? No, I don't. Fire Powell? Yeah, they're not going to do that. Trump, I don't think Trump had... If Trump really wanted Powell gone, I think he could get him gone. But it's... He technically, he doesn't have the authority to do it, I think. But if he threw his weight around, he could get Powell out. I mean, we'll see what Powell does on the 18th. Aren't a lot of these ICE protesters the same Mexicans who burned down LA over the Dodgers? You get different circumstances, but same people. Yeah, but a little bit different people. The sports people are a bit different. But I mean, also these are people from other places coming in, and it's like Antifa people. They travel all over the place when there's an event like this. They're agitators. So it's like a combination. Trueflation back near 2%. Yeah, no, Trueflation went back down. It went up a little bit, I saw. But, you know, there's a Trueflation coin. I thought that was pretty funny. I was like, there's actually a crypto Trueflation coin. It's like, if there's any utility coin I would buy, but I'm not buying that coin. But I thought it was funny that there is. Because I saw on their website, it was like, it's trading at 5 cents. I was like, what is this, a stock? Nope. Groceries, gas are down. Inflation is down. Sentiment is up. What am I missing? Well, no, you're not missing anything. That's the point. We know that because when you have the bedrock like inflation, when you have inflation down and energy down, and now so now you see what they've been doing. What they've done now is they say, well, it's a lag. It's because I don't even know what they were saying, but they're like, this is not sustainable. The 4% GDP Q2 is a blip. It's going to go back negative. And then you've got people like Musk. I mean, Musk is acting like a baby. Musk said that, oh, we're going to have a recession because of Trump's tariffs. Well, number one, I think Musk is probably on drugs when he said that. Very likely. Number two, I mean, like, what are you talking about? So we're going to have all these trade deals. We're going to have a 4% GDP growth rate in Q2. How do we have a 4% growth rate with low energy prices and low inflation? And we're not going to cut with that? I mean, come on. This has been a debate going around recently whether Dave Rubin is conservative despite marrying a man and, more importantly, buying kids. Yeah, the buying kids, that stuff's really dystopian. I don't like that, man. It's not good. Cut interest rates. Yeah, well, they're going to get cut soon. They're going to be cut. Why don't you like H-1Bs? Because H-1Bs are direct. They directly take Americans. And H-1Bs are exploitation by billionaires. Really, that's the heart of them. That's why Bernie Sanders is against H-1Bs as well. Because it's against the American worker. It's cheaper for the cheaper labor. It's taking advantage of people from different countries in worse situations. And it's corporations who do it. Trade deals need to be announced before Powell will cut rates. Well, they're going to be announced. You know, we've got a lot of the deals happening, a lot of the negotiations that they're going to come to an end here. You know, the deadline is in a month anyways. They're going to at least have 4 or 5 trade deals, I think. But these deals, they're complicated. They're not just a one for one, you know, no tariffs on anyone. They're going to have to keep some tariffs on. I mean, we have to make money somehow, especially if Trump is going to do this to where he increases the military budget by $150 billion. Libs acting like Trump beat Medicare when Biden literally said he did. What the fuck is he cutting it? Yeah, well, he's actually not cutting it. He's cutting Medicaid. But that's just the Medicaid cuts are more so a quota thing based around able-bodied people, and if you're able-bodied, you got to work 40 hours a week, and so it's a system that, so it's good, and it's not really cuts. I mean, they say it's going to save about $70 or $80 billion a year. That's impressive because think about it, if that's real, if we're saving $70 or $80 billion a year and we're generating $250 billion in tariff revenue, that's about $330 billion. That's saving. So where are they getting? Oh, we're going to lose all this money in terms of the debt. It's based off of projections on its underwhelming economic growth relative to the tax cuts. We put in tax cuts, we're going to see economic growth. And it's not going to be 1.8%, which is what they predicted. It's going to be higher than that. How do you balance that with the fact that Americans don't want to do dirty jobs, so they have to hire foreigners? Well, we've got a lot of robotics at play with that, and there's going to be a lot of AI robot systems involved in some of those jobs. So it's got a lot of AI take over with that. But they're saying, I mean, Tim Cook said, yes, everything's going to be made in America when we get the robotics up to speed. But we're also going to have higher level jobs that come back now for the citizens as well. Stop talking about indicators and metrics. You hated liberals for telling you how the economy feels. No. We had way worse metrics. What are you talking about? I'm talking about inflation rate, like the same inflation, the same true-flation that was 11% under Democratic leadership in 2022. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. You know, dude, go look at the true-flation rate when Trump entered versus where we are now and how much he's gotten it down. I mean, it's insane. What metrics did liberals give me that said the economy was doing well? Outside of printing a fuck ton of money to help the GDP. Do you think Elon is right about tariffs causing recession? Now, Elon, when he tweeted that, he was probably on drugs, honestly. How do you feel about JD Vance being birthed by Peter Thiel? Yeah, a lot of people have sent me that. A lot of people keep sending me this graph of JD Vance and Peter Thiel. If our economy booms, how many factories open do you think Trump will beg for foreign workers? No, 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 no. Nothing like that. The thing is we have to be able to manage ourselves without globalism taking hold of us. So that would be a globalist mindset is we need foreign workers. Listen, we're going to deal with population decrease. It's healthy. Look at what's happening with China and Japan. They have to deal with population decline. Sometimes you have to deal with it. What happened to the Epstein files? Well, they got destroyed, according to Patel. Do you think the tariffs on Canada will last a while? Right. So the automobile tariffs are going to last, I think, the entirety of Trump's administration, and then whatever happens, whether Vance wins or a Democrat. The Democrats, look at what Whitmer said. Look at what Shapiro has said. They've said that they do like the auto tariffs. The auto tariffs are bipartisan, and there's auto tariffs on Canada. The problem with the auto tariffs, you have all these different like little parts to cars, and they go from country to so it becomes an issue to where a certain part will be getting tariffed by like multiple countries, so it becomes a problem. Becomes an issue. But when are you going to do the NFL schedule? What do you mean? Did you see Tim Pool say the Epstein files could compromise the Saudis and Qataris? Yeah, I saw that. Vincent, thank you for that. Well, that's a nice tip. That's a nice tip, $50 tip. Thank you for your support. Yeah, that's very nice, man. That's a little tip. That's a nice little Sunday night surprise. That's a Sunday night surprise. No, seriously, that's nice. Yeah, the Tim Pool stuff is really bad. I know he shouldn't have said that. But the problem with Tim Pool is, when Tim Pool always talks about the Middle East, he says, "Well, Saudi Arabia is going to dump their oil." No, why would I don't think he understands this. If Saudi Arabia dumps their oil, their economy will crash. Their economy is based on oil. They cannot. So he keeps doing the fear mongering thing with they're going to dump their oil. Whenever you listen to him talking the Middle East, he always says Saudi Arabia, if they dump their oil, we're screwed. Well, no, Saudi Arabia is screwed if they dump their oil. So I don't know why he keeps saying that. Should Matt Gaetz have been the AG? I don't think he was getting through. He was never going to get confirmed. How many jobs are going to be lost to AI? A lot of the jobs are going to go to the AI, unfortunately, because think about it. Any job involving like any desk work, any management within any like managerial in terms of managing schedules and things like that, phone calls. You can't say things are in the works forever. No, I don't do that. Well, dude, if Trump's 4 months into an administration, this is what happens. They're in the pipeline. Things are in the pipeline. That's what I say. Because if Trump's 4 months into an administration, we're like 3 months into Trump's term. Yeah, I was watching the one Tim Pool debate when he had a liberal dude with a he had this liberal dude with a beanie on. I'm not even kidding you. And then the liberal dude's like, one of us has to take off our beanies. And then Tim Pool was like, I wore mine first, so I'm not taking it off. And then the liberal dude was like, do you want to have a quiz? And then whoever loses has, no, he never said that, but. Rate cuts in an unstable economy can turn into a recession overnight. Rate cuts only work when you have a solid foundation, which we don't. No, you're right. You're right. 4.5% growth rate's not a solid foundation. Solid foundation is low inflation. That's the main basis of that, and we have lower inflation than we've had in 4 years. Nick Fuentes was right about everything. Like when he said Kamala was going to win. We are too focused on what Trump hasn't done, not realizing the great work he's done with immigration, cost of living. No, I agree. I mean, he's done a lot of great things, and I try and tell people that, but it's just these global conflicts. They're so complicated, and we'll have to see what happens with them. It's the fact that Trump said he was going to end the war in Europe quickly, and it hasn't happened. That's why. Where's Tucker Carlson been? Haven't seen him lately. Yeah, I saw Tucker do he still does his show, but his show is like a podcast. It's not even like a news show. So I don't know. I don't know what the deal is. I thought he was launching a news show on X, but he hasn't really been doing much. Why do people expect results so fast? We're not even halfway through Trump's first year. I know, that's what I'm trying to say. I'm saying we're like 2 months into his term. It's like a month in, so it takes time to get it done. I hope you all get rich before AI takes over. I hope you find a partner and grow old before mandatory Neuralink chips. Well, you know what's coming with we're not going to be able to drive. That I do believe that's coming. Eventually, what's going to happen is it's going to be deemed selfish for you to drive your own car because all the automated cars are going to get so good. They're all going to be communicating with each other. They're going to eliminate accidents. So you're not going to be able to drive. I mean, that is coming. So that's the thing with Musk to where it's bad. But I mean, it was going to happen with or without Musk. I do believe that is going to come because if you can eliminate accidents, like car accidents, I'm saying. Trump stumbled on the plane stairs. Time to hear about it for the next month. I don't think so. I mean, to me, it's like Biden's fall was so much worse, but it's like one of those things they take hold of because we were making fun of Biden. You get all these independents trying to grift and hate Trump. Yeah, no, I hear a lot of it. That's the thing. It's like people say you should hate Trump more. They tell me that. There's a loyalty. But I mean, Trump does bad things with crypto. I agree, but it's less it's tolerable because Trump is trying to deport people and change the demographics back, and so it's you have to tolerate it. How are they going to control the population if we all have self-driving cars? Well, it's actually really easy to control humans. That's why so many communists are anti-car. You get a lot of these younger kids who say, no, you shouldn't have a car, rely on public transportation. And originally, like if I'm building a city, I would have a ton of public transportation because I hate parking lots. I hate the way parking lots look because I don't want people going into a city dealing with parking and dealing with looking at parking lots. The problem is they'll hijack it, and it's all these younger kids who are all communists, and they say, well, we can really take over with the government taking control of people. We have to have them rely on public transportation. The other problem is public transportation is only as good as the general public treats the public transportation, because I like public transportation. Look at Japan. You know, that's a respectable society. You look at their subways, they're beautiful, they're immaculate. Even you look at the Middle East, some of those new developments, the Qatar stuff, the public transportation's amazing. You look at things now, how it is in London, you look at New York City, it's dirty, it's disgusting, you're dealing with drugs, you're dealing with the smell of marijuana. But I like public transportation, but they hijacked it and they make it into a communist ideology with the public transportation. I think you'll only be able to drive when you pay a high tax, so the upper middle class and above will drive. Yeah, it'll certainly take time, but when you get all those sedans communicating, pretty much a truck, whatever it is, they get all on the same network, it's going to be hard to be able to drive, because they'll say you're selfish and you're putting lives in danger. I mean, that's what it is. It's just the next step. The more we get in tune with technology, the less rights we'll have. Celebrities in their gated communities try to gaslight middle-class people accepting high crime resulting from diversity. So cringe. Oh, it's terrible. You know, at this point with liberals, when they start arguing stuff, it's almost like you have to ask, where do you live exactly? Like, seriously, because the stuff that you're arguing, you don't have to deal with at all. And you would never want to deal with the stuff that you're arguing for. So why are you arguing it? It's almost like you have to start doing that with these people. That's not even like an anecdotal thing. It's just an argument based off of like a life quality, a living quality. Greta Thunberg getting dragged down the boat and deported now. Yeah, that was a publicity stunt with Thunberg and what they did there. You're surprised the Seahawks didn't say anything about Pride Month, considering Seattle being very liberal. Well, it's Boeing, it's changing a bit now. It's changing with because, you know, the NFL probably told a lot of those, there's just not an incentive to do that. It's all virtue signaling anyways. But it would surprise me. You would think Seattle would be a team that would do that. Five cars are now destroyed by fires. Yeah, we'll get another update here and see what it is. This has been a good stream, honestly. Protests stop ICE raids now, 3 o'clock Pacific time. In Tampa, Florida. So they're doing another raid in Tampa. This is going to pop up everywhere. Have you talked about Trump trying to ban masks from protests? Is he allowed to do that? Yeah, because if you're committing crimes, you can't do that. We have to be able to identify you. I mean, I think it's allowed. I mean, otherwise, why would Trump do it? Have you been hitting the gym? You know, it's tough. It's tough to hit the gym sometimes. You know, I went like a few days, honestly, you know, at one point. I don't think there are any clips of the Marines. I don't think the Marines have gotten there yet, honestly. ICE has detained 1,500 a day precisely. I thought it's less than that recently. I think it's a bit less than that. Maybe combined if they were doing a bunch at the beginning. I thought they were doing like 2,000 at the beginning of the administration, and it got down to like 500. Did you see the SPX? Rich, I haven't seen you in a while, man. You're always giving me some. Yeah, I mean, I saw SPX has gone up. What is it at, like $1.50 now? $1.20? Yeah, it's doing well, man. Hopefully that means, you know, it's a trickle down effect. But yeah, I think it'll go to multiple billions, honestly. Hit the gym. You've been trying to get back into it. Yeah, I know. I used to go to the gym a lot. It's unfortunate. You've been out. Good to catch you. Yeah, good to see you, man. Yeah, I remember you used to give me some crypto stuff, man. That's good, man. Well, I haven't been streaming as much, to be fair. Why didn't you show the live stream of the riots? I mean, I showed the riots. The riots are the riots. I mean, look, we'll see if it escalates or not. But hmm. All right, guys, that's gonna do it for this stream. That was a bit, maybe a tad longer, but that'll do it for this stream. That was a good stream. You know, I could either stream or do a video, but I think this stream was good. And am I excited for College Football 26? You know, I hope the Dynasty is more immersive. I'm happy they got dynamic lighting. That's really good. I can't believe they didn't have dynamic lighting in the last game, but the Dynasty needs to have more features. There's no doubt about it. All right, guys, I'll be seeing you. I'll make sure to end it by going to the actual screen this time.